The truth will set you free. It's one of those phrases you hear as a kid and kind of roll your eyes to because it sounds too simple. But simple does not mean easy. Not by a long shot. Because getting at the truth can be very challenging, and the foremost reason for that is fear. And fear is a tricky emotion because most people are not nearly aware of just how afraid of how many things they actually are. Most men these days are bitch-made who are far too cowardly to be honest with themselves, let alone the world, let alone other people. They learn to get by in life by lying to themselves and going with the flow. They'd rather castrate themselves and embody some sort of non-threatening persona than be honest. Far more easier than telling the truth because the truth is scary, and they are afraid of it, even if they don't admit it to themselves, even if they're not aware. Because the thing about fear is that 90% of the time, it doesn't show up like how it does in the movies. It's pretty rare that you're walking through the woods, you get lost, and then you turn a corner and come face to face with a mama grizzly bear, and you just get this horror run down your spine that paralyzes you. Or you hear a bump in the night and have to creep down your staircase holding a baseball bat, thinking you're gonna have to fend off a home invader or sometime. 90% of the time, that's not how fear actually shows up. No, the true nature of fear is far more quiet, insidious, and deadly. Silent but deadly, kind of like a fart, you know? It ruins your life and you're not even aware of it happening. It is the root cause of so many problems in a person's life and they're never even aware of it. Financially, emotionally, romantically, in your career. Fear really is the mind killer. Frank Herbert was not writing fiction when he wrote that down. People who are antisocial are not antisocial because they don't enjoy talking to other people. That would be absurd. That's equally as ridiculous as trying to claim that you don't like how it feels to get your nut off. Nobody is so special as a human being that orgasms don't feel good. That's just not how human beings work. We're social animals. It's in our biology, our DNA, everything about us to make us enjoy talking to other people. It's a part of the human experience that we're supposed to derive immense pleasure from. And people who are antisocial are really just afraid of something and they don't even know it. Ask me how I know. And it's the same type of insidious fear that keeps people from the truth. But the truth is the most important thing, man. You know? At the end of the day, that's all that actually matters. It's kind of ironic because while your fear keeps you from the truth, once you learn to be more afraid of lies than you are the truth, you become terrified of lying and the truth sets you free. It's like magic in a way.
Harry, you are a wizard. Listen here, Hagrid, you fat oaf.
Because not telling the truth has severe consequences, man. It gets real bad if you lie to yourself, to the world, to people about what you want, how you this sounds a little convoluted, but I promise you it's not. The truth will set you free. Everyone is afraid of the truth until they learn to fear lies more than they do the truth. Because the thing that happens when you don't tell the truth is that you end up in hell. Your soul begins to rot because you end up living a lie and your life becomes disgusting. Look no further than an unhappy marriage, man. Unhappy relationship. A couple who once loved each other with all their hearts now can't even stand to bear the thought of one another. It happens all the time. Why does that happen? Well, I'll tell you. It happens because they lie to one another. They acquiesce and resentment builds. Oh, of course, you could gain 50 pounds, babe, and I'd love you just the same. It doesn't bother me in the slightest that my husband's a stay-at-home father and I make all the money and I'm the one who has to get up at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning every day and happy wife, happy life, am I right, fellas? Dad bods are actually really sexy. Oh, I love a man who's fuck, dude. Lies that people tell themselves because they are convenient and easy in the short term, but it builds resentment over time because they are not true. And that's the crux of the issue here, right? You cannot be confident, happy, and free while you are also a coward who is living a lie out of convenience.
Watkins, are you a pacifist?
No, sir, I'm not a pacifist, sir. I'm a coward.
Once you become aware of what happens to you, though, once you try to live a life of lies, when you really understand that, when you really understand what happens, you become far more afraid of lies than you ever were of the truth. This is how men are capable of accomplishing great things, dude. Julius Caesar. It's why Caesar crossed the Rubicon, because he knew that if he didn't, everything he had worked for would all be for naught. His name would fade into obscurity, and that salad would not be called what it is today. He could have said a whole bunch of nonsense to himself about how crossing the Rubicon was irresponsible. Oh, I can't cross the Rubicon. What if people say mean things about me? I mean, he was facing worse consequences than that, but I'm sure that was a thought in the back of his head. What will other people think of me? Shit like that. But it's a lie because he knew what he had to do and he knew what would happen if he did not do it. So he did it and now we have that salad. It's the same reason why I quit my job, dude, because I knew I had to. There are all sorts of these valid real world reasons. I'm broke, I don't want to be a loser, on and on and on. But if I didn't, I would be ashamed of myself. And that's far more important and that's the truth. I would be angry and miserable and depressed because I would be living a lie and I would be aware of it. I had reached a point where I knew what had to be done, and if I did not do it, everything would have stagnated and gone back to shit. It was the right thing to do, even if the world could very easily tell you otherwise. I had the truth within my heart and in my head of what needed to be done, and if I ignored that for the sake of convenience, well, I'd be drinking myself unconscious right now. Living a lie is why people become unhappy. It's where your average person's mental health issues come from. It's why you can't look strangers in the eye, why your life isn't going in the direction that you want it to. And the way you fix that, okay, the way you stop fantasizing about the sweet release of death every morning when you wake up, is you start telling the truth to yourself, and primarily, but eventually that needs to get out into the world as well. Yeah, you can't just tell yourself the truth and then live a lie, because that has the same effect as just lying to yourself and also living a lie. You have to cling on to the truth, man, as desperately as you can, because it's more important than water, it's more important than food if you want to actually be alive. Because without it, you'll never be able to live. To actually live. 90% of people who you encounter on a day-to-day basis are not really alive. They might technically be alive, but they wake up and they feel like zombies because they practically are. Some kind of half-dead zombie floating through life, coping about it until the day they drop dead. You can tell when you're alive, man. It's a feeling. You wake up with a fire in your heart and an erection underneath your covers, ready to hop out of bed and make love to the world, sensually and violently, both at the same time. There's a spark in your eye, man. A little twinge of insanity when you look yourself in the mirror. That's how you know you're living. I've met so many people throughout my life, man, who just go about their day with a glazed over look in their eye, their fucking spines bent over. They're kind of okay. They tell themselves they're kind of okay with their life. They don't know. They just don't know anything. That's what you call being a zombie, all right? And you get into that state when you lie to yourself from the day you're fucking born. And you can only get out of that state and into the insane one, okay, by telling the truth. That's when you get a pulse, finally, and you become dangerous. Because the truth is dangerous. A man with a clear conscience fears nothing. And the best way, maybe the only way to truly have a clear conscience is to know that you're on the side of truth, that you don't lie, that you do the things you need to do, because if you don't, you will fucking die. Pass away years before you ever go in the ground, man. And you gotta be as truthful as you can, because there will always be lies in the back of your head. There's always these weird little insidious, you don't know everything and you never will. Getting at the truth is hard, even when that's all you care about, man, because there are things you just don't know. There's things you believe right now that are wrong and probably evil, that are ruining your fucking life, and you might not even be aware of it, although maybe you are. And you're just lying to yourself. But you don't know everything, and you never will. And a lot of the times when you discover a truth, either about yourself or about the world, you won't like it. It will be kind of disgusting. It will make you angry. But none of that matters if it's true. If it's true, that means it's real. And if it's real, it doesn't matter if you like it or not. What matters is that you don't lie to yourself about it, because that's where you get your strength, in not lying. I was having an argument with someone once. They were getting very frustrated with me. It was about how men and women are allowed to dress and the double standard between the sexes and whatnot, something like that. And she just kept telling me, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Fairness has nothing to do with the truth. And by the way, I will say, arguing with anyone is a giant waste of your time, and you should not do it. But especially with women, are not to be taken seriously, because if you do take them seriously, you will go insane. You will go insane and you will wish you were. They will literally drive you insane and it will ruin your life. Do not do it, man. But the point I'm trying to make with this is that it does not matter if something is fair or good or bad or whatever if it is true. The truth is like a knife that cuts through the butter of reality, man. Objective truth, objective reality does exist whether you like it or not. People who say that there's no truth, man, there is no truth in this world, it's just your truth. Those people are wrong. 1 + 1 = 2 just proves that right off the bat. What they should be saying instead is that everyone moves towards the truth, the center of truth, in their own way and from their own direction. That is true. And that's not a bad thing, you know? That's where the spice of life comes from. Some sort of old school Christian fundamentalist who's always going, rock and roll music is satanic, man. I don't know why I made him sound like a rock and roll guy. An old school Christian fundamentalist who thinks rock and roll music is satanic, and the kid up on stage playing his guitar, rocking out on that MTV. They're both correct in their own way. They're just coming at the truth from very opposite directions. And it's like I said, that's where the spice of life comes from. Without that, everything would be gray and boring and miserable. It matters. What it comes down to at the end of the day is having something that you would die for, having something that is more important than the noise of the world around you, and that is the truth. Something that puts the fear of God in you. Being afraid of the right things so that you do not end up in hell, in this life or in the afterlife. It doesn't really matter, because if you lie, it will happen to you. Going to hell is a very real possibility, man. I know, I was there, and I never want to go back. Hell is a kingdom built on cowardice and lies. That's how people end up there, by being afraid and not telling the truth. It puts you in hell. I am more afraid of going back to that place than I am of any other thing in my life, man. Any sort of social, oh, what if they don't like me? What if they think I'm weird? Anything like, any kind of fear. It all pales in comparison to the living hell you will fucking end up in if you allow yourself to lie, if you do not cling to the truth, man. And that's not a bad thing, man, because that's where I get my strength. Having something to run from that terrifies me more than death, frankly. I would rather die. By being afraid of the correct things, the important things, by caring about the truths both in my heart and of the world, that's how I stay alive. That's how I'm able to do the things that I want to do without being held back by demons and whispers and voices and shit. It's the answer to everything, dude. The truth is the answer to everything.